It is Tuesday, May 26th, and I took today off for the holiday, and tomorrow I have to go back to work. And I am having a complete meltdown over that thought process because I watched thousands and thousands of people go out over this weekend. And I am reminded of the not so bright citizens of the United States of America. And I don't have anything different to say about the people I have to be around and the people I have to work with and the people that I have to communicate with on a daily basis for work-related purposes. I don't see anything different than the mass thousands of people that went out over the weekend. They don't seem to approach it any differently, think of it any differently, acknowledge anything is anything, but the sense of urgency is not there. The sense of safety is not there. You have people going through more safety precautions for going into the newly opened stock market today than what you have in the regular everyday jobs that we've been working since this thing started, and before it started and after it ends, we'll still be there. I'm an essential worker, so I've never stopped working. And not one time have I felt safe. I feel more like a sense of giving up, like, oh, I have to do what I have to do, so if I catch it, I catch it. Although I think I've had it before, but that's another story for another day. But now I feel even less safe than I've felt since the beginning, simply because I've always known that people were dumb. That's not a new phenomenon for me. But to see it so blatantly and so, I don't know, in your face, that people actually believe the things that they're being told without any additional research or effort put towards making sure that what they're being told is the truth. They just take it and that's it. I've been watching this virus thing since it started. Since it started, really, not just since it started in the United States, but since it started, really. I've been watching it in every country and every piece of news I could get my hands on, every piece of social media posts, anything outside of the conspiracy theory stuff, but anything that can give me a piece of information or knowledge, I've been watching. I also have daily updates with my son on where we are, where the numbers are, how we compare to other countries, who's testing per capita. I didn't start that by choice. It was just because my son's school kept giving him assignments on it, so it just became something we started doing from the start. And so the numbers are so familiar to me, and I'm disappointed, to say the least. I'm disappointed in humans. Mostly United States, but I mean, there are a few other countries with the same example of just not doing enough or putting politics or finances above heartbeats. But because I live here, this is the one, that is, of course, the center of my focus. And it's just been an epic fail. 100,000 people. That's an epic fail. And so many people are convinced that that's not an epic fail simply because that number was embedded very early on. Oh, if we keep it between 100,000 and 200,000 people, we did great. We did great. And once again, because people hear information and just believe it, nobody really questioned that sounded ridiculous, that was the okay point. 100,000 to the 100,000 people. That was the okay point. And I'm just irritated with that. So, yesterday I read I want to say it was NBC, somebody's BC article that states are being caught manipulating the numbers. Specifically Georgia, Florida was in there, but just in general, states are being caught manipulating the numbers to make it look like there is a flattening of a curve, when actuality there is not. Funny thing is, people are so stupid, you don't even have to manipulate anything for them. You could have told them the truth and still opened. Because that just is where we are. The lie was unnecessary. I always tell people, I tell my employers all the time, that why is it that we think to lie first and think later? Why is that the standard? Lie first and think later. And we never even consider that the truth will do. Doesn't even cross our minds that the truth will do. I'm irritated today. And most people would say, well, that's your fault. You keep yourself engulfed in it. You read about it. You research it. You look at it. And you keep moving. And the smart thing would be to just stop. Stop looking for it. But I also believe that is the majority of our problem as humans, as mostly United States, but generally as humans. We've been desensitized to everything. I'm sure that everyone remembers the Columbine. That was in the news for months. We were upside down over a shooting at a school. And now when they happen, they may spend a day or two in the news. It's just common ground now. And that's because we stopped looking, we stopped searching, we stopped. With the first one, it was interest. So people looked and turned over rocks. And as you get more desensitized, you hear it. It goes in one ear and out the other. And your next day is the same as the day before. But I don't choose to be that way. I don't choose to allow myself to become desensitized. I choose to recognize that things are not okay. I choose to recognize that no one should have fear sending their child to school. I choose to recognize that no one should have fear sending their child to a park to play. But we do. And instead of accepting, we just do and it just is what it is, I am more interested in why we do, how we do, when did it start that we do, what is the history, what is the root, what is the foundation of what caused the problem, and how can it be fixed? Because if you're not searching for it, then you're not searching for an answer. We've ignored the homeless population. Ignored it. No one was searching for an answer. Not anyone that mattered, of course. And now our homeless population is assisting in killing the non-homeless population. You can't ignore desolate situations. You can't ignore things like this and expect to go on and be untouched by them. You will be touched if you ignore it. Now we're trying to find ways to house them. When the hotels were shut down, they were housing homeless COVID people in some hotels. I believe some hotels were just trying to house homeless people just to assist in the social distancing. But if that wasn't a problem that had been ignored for umpteen years, would that have been such a thorn in the current situation that we're in? No, it wouldn't have. Because we were chosen a long time ago to not ignore people in desolate situations. The same concept can be applied to non-homeless, just poor people. People who grow up in areas where a shooting is a regular occurrence, is an everyday occurrence, where by the age of 12, you've already seen someone probably bleed to death on your lawn or in front of your house or on your lap. And we take that and we ignore it. And we say they're in that situation because they have no motivation, or they're in that situation for this reason or that reason. It's mostly been about blaming the poor for being poor. Now, right or wrong, that's not to be debated. Right or wrong, it still can't be ignored. Because that poverty, hopelessness, helplessness does not have boundary lines. You can't separate it by a viaduct or some train tracks and think that it'll stay on its side. Because once the poor get so desolate and so poor, they cross over those train tracks. And then they're knocking on your doors and pulling the front off of the ATM machines in nice neighborhoods. But you thought that you could just ignore what happened 2 miles down the road on a daily basis and keep on living your pretty, happy, smiley life and don't have to think about it. It will knock on your door. Whether you want to think about it or not, it will knock on your door. So it's for 100% up to you to acknowledge your surroundings and decide what part it is that you play in changing that energy. Because if you decide to play no part, either because you feel you can't, or you feel you have no responsibility to, your door will be next.